Welcome to the Woke News Report podcast. My name is Paul. I'm the founder of Woke News Report, which you can find at wokenewsreport.com, and also the creator of Woke Board Game, which you can find more information about at wokeboardgame.com. Reaction video. It's a reaction video. We're going to be talking about Tucker Carlson is coming back, but he's coming back online. He's coming back at Twitter, of all places. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. It's kind of amazing to me because you see the reaction of various people and groups, and it's spread across the board. Some people are really excited. Obviously, others are not very excited. But it cracks me up. The ones that are not excited about it, it cracks me up because it really is nothing more than jealousy of the fact that he got fired, and all of a sudden he has a platform that offers free speech where he can pretty much do whatever he wants to do, however he wants to do it, and they're upset about it. So let's get into it. The most important thing or place to start is probably this Raheem tweet followed by Donald Trump Jr. So Raheem says, quote unquote, Carlson was told by a member of the Fox board, the board, one of the most important people at Fox News, that he was taken off the air as part of the Dominion settlement. Donald Trump Jr. says, whoa. If it's true that Dominion forced Fox to fire Tucker, every red state legislator in America should move to ban them from administering their elections. Why do I find this important? Because it's something that I said. This is today. It's May 9th, 2023. This is what I said was a possibility all the way back on April 26th. I mean, this is going back a ways. I had a video where the day that Tucker was fired, I posted a Woke News Report podcast. I will leave that in the description or in the link below. Here's something I've not heard. Could be, could not be. Just theorizing the possibility. Fox to Dominion. Okay, we'll pay you $800 million. Dominion to Fox, and fire Tucker. Fox to Dominion, fire Tucker. He's our number one show. He's the one that gets the most ratings in the world. He's the most popular late night broadcaster that there is. The demographics were just out of control. He nailed everything. Fire Tucker. He's our number one show. Dominion to Fox. So it's settled. Now, as I say here in this truth that I wrote, truthsocial.com, you can go to Woke Board Game on Truth Social or also on Twitter and follow us, and it would be appreciated. I said, who knows? Not saying it happened, but could have been an off-the-records book side conversation in a backroom deal somewhere. I'm putting it in the script. I may or not be writing, so this is totally fiction. In other words, I was trying to cover my butt in saying something like this. It's not necessarily truth. It's just something that I thought this is a real possibility. Because if you remember when Tucker was fired, it was on the heels of the $800 million settlement that Fox had just paid to Dominion, and everybody was saying, well, maybe this has something to do with the Dominion settlement, and he's paid a whole lot of money, and we've just got to, we got to cut our losses, and he was a big part of the lawsuit. And actually in that video that I released just a few weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago, I said, I'm not sure about anything about that lawsuit. I don't know. And trolls, of course, came out in record number and was like, you need to educate yourself about this stuff. He lied. I still have no idea. I still have no clue specifically what the lawsuit was about and what Tucker actually said that he said. I understand that some text messages, private text messages, came out of things that he may have said. But I don't know why he got sued. Or Fox got sued, rather. And I don't know why they had to pay $800 million. But I was theorizing back in April 26th that as part of the plan, as part of the settlement, Dominion may have also said, and fire Tucker. Well, I don't know. I don't know that this actually happened or not. I don't know that anybody does, but Raheem reports that Carlson was also told by a member of the Fox board. Now, this is a third-party source. I don't know where Raheem got this information either. But Carlson was told by a member of the Fox board that he was taking off the air as part of the Dominion settlement. All of a sudden, you've got me saying on the 26th, it could be a possibility. This is something that no one's looking at. Everyone should be looking at it, or at least thinking about it. It could happen. Donald Trump Jr., he says, whoa, if it's true, Dominion forced Fox to fire Tucker, every red state legislator in America should move to ban them from administering their elections. No company that makes such a partisan ideological demands can be trusted to run impartial ballot counting. He actually has a point there. I mean, it seems like a valid point. But we'll see if that actually happened or came true. I'm just pointing out that if you watch, and you're smart enough to watch, because you are watching, Woke News Report podcast, we might have been first on this. Might have had the scoop. It was all alleged. It was making it up. And even if it wasn't true, I was going to use it in some script that I might write later on in time. It just seemed plausible to me that coming on the heels of an $800 million settlement, it could be the fact that they said, and Tucker Carlson. So we talked in the last video, and again, the link is down below. It's in the description. How when Tucker was fired, the article written that I showcased here was an NBC article. And they called Tucker a firebrand. Tucker is a firebrand. I thought, man, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, until today's tweet from CNN, which says, right-wing extremist Tucker Carlson will relaunch his program on Twitter, a platform he praised as the only remaining large free speech platform in the world after Fox News fired him late last month. So in the span of just a week and a half, or however long it's been, he went from a firebrand to a right-wing extremist. Now, who does CNN have tomorrow night? I'm recording this on the 9th. Who do they have as a special guest that they're counting all of their ratings on? All of their ratings on. Who do they have tomorrow night? Well, to them, it would be the ultimate right-wing extremist, which is President Donald Trump, the man who won 2 elections in a row, should be president now, my opinion, and is in line to win for the 3rd time in a row, which would be his 2nd. So CNN calls Tucker Carlson a right-wing extremist only 2 weeks after him being a firebrand And tomorrow night, they have Donald Trump, the president of the United States, the former president, the future president of the United States, on their network. The most extreme right-wing person to them in the entire world. It's just crazy. This is how they decided to frame it. Right-wing extremist Tucker Carlson. So let's go to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's great, by the way. I tweet her all the time. I will tag her in a tweet trying to get her attention. First of all, I would love to have her on the show. And if she would come on the show, there's a lot of things we could talk about. But she said, I can't wait for Tucker Carlson's new show on Twitter. The truth will be unstoppable. Tucker Carlson says, we're back. You're back, but not yet. And that comes at the end of his video. And I love how he says, by the way, and throughout this entire video, he says, we as a team, essentially. I think when he says we, he's talking about the background of the people that work with him and the team that they are. I think he's sticking with some of the people that have helped him throughout his career. So I don't necessarily think he's saying himself as a they. He, him, she, her, they, them thing when he says we. And I do the same thing. Whenever I'm making promos for this show, we have new studio lights. It looks like a television station in here. It's amazing compared. And you can go back and watch previous videos and see the difference between guy in his basement. But you got to start somewhere. And I'm always like, let's just get going. Let's just get started. Let's start putting it out, and then we'll catch up to where we need to be. And by let's, I also don't mean we, they, them, he, him, she, her, whatever pronoun. We just got to get started. And so I can't wait for Tucker Carlson's new show on Twitter. I suspect it's going to be really good. I suspect he's going to come out firing on all four cylinders, and it's takeover time. Let's go over to Megyn. Megyn Kelly. I like watching Megyn Kelly. I don't know. I just found her probably a few weeks ago, actually, on YouTube. She's actually on the screen up there on YouTube now, talking about new Tucker Carlson leaks on pronouns and massive box something else. It was about an hour ago. I haven't traditionally been a fan of Megyn Kelly. When she moved off of Fox and she moved over to NBC for a brief moment, and then she got canceled by the entire culture and NBC and everyone else, I didn't know much about that situation. But I enjoy watching her. I enjoy her YouTube show. I don't know where else it plays other than YouTube. But she says this about Tucker. Tucker flips Fox News the middle finger. And she has been arguing and arguing for at least a week and a half, 2 weeks, however long this has been going on, that Tucker do exactly something like this. Not specifically go to Twitter, per se, because you got to understand, Tucker has $100 million offers left and right. Valuetainment, which is right down the road from me, it's not even 15 minutes away, offered him $100 million to come on and do a show. Now, he doesn't need that, Value Entertainment or anything else. And while I'm talking about it, or while I'm thinking about it, there's a lot of platforms that are built on other platforms. In other words, Valuetainment is something that I respect, and I enjoy that podcast. It's a it's a YouTube kind of platform. I mean, they do their own recordings and stuff. if they ever got canceled the way that the silencers in media cancel people, that would crush free speech. So imagine Tucker going, Valuetainment offered me $100 million for my own show, and primarily my own show would be broadcast on YouTube. Well, I can tell you for a fact, YouTube doesn't play my videos. If it's LGBTQ, if it's border, if it's talking about climate or anything that they don't think is anything you should be talked about, they're not playing my videos. They're not going to play my videos. They're not going to show anybody. They showed the first one and it took off like a rocket. Thousands of views. But ever since then, forget about it. I still upload to YouTube, but I know automatically and already it's not getting views. People are not going to be watching Woke News Report podcast on a place like YouTube. Rumble, which I also upload every video to, there are views. Pretty good views, actually. For a new show like mine, it's actually doing pretty well on a place like Rumble. So when Tucker says in his announcement video that Twitter is the only free speech outlet, I don't necessarily think that that's 100% correct. Because Rumble will let you say things, and they will also let you show other people the things that you say. YouTube, forget about it. Tucker could take the Valuetainment, or is it, Valuetainment deal for $100 million, sit back and be like, I have an extra $100 million, a new studio, a board seat, president of the company. I think they offered him president of the company. He could probably do that. But primarily, you get your views from YouTube, and as soon as YouTube says, we're not going to show this, it's over. So maybe Twitter, in this case, is the only place that Tucker can actually go and have an audience and be seen. I would argue Rumble would also be a place that he could go and be seen, and not only seen, but be able to say whatever it is that he wants to say, and people would watch and they wouldn't block him from saying anything that he wanted to say. But Megyn Kelly, she's been on fire. You know, she got fired from Fox News, and Bill O'Reilly got fired from Fox News, and now Tucker is fired from Fox News, and she's like, screw the money. Forget about the money that they owe you, quote unquote, owe you. Sure, you got a contract with them, but the contract says you have to stay until 2025. You can go do other things in the next year and a half. I've been fired. At first you think, I can't do anything. There's nothing I can do. I've just been fired. What do I do now? I was in a different position when I got fired than Tucker. I mean, obviously, Tucker has an audience. As a matter of fact, 15 million people have already seen this video. I think it has 4.5 million views of his announcement. But this is still a coming soon announcement. It's not, this is finished, done. This is what we're doing. We're starting tomorrow or next week, or, you know, this is another one of those teaser type announcements. But people are excited. I mean, if Fox News had 15 million people watch it within 1 week, much less a few hours, a couple of hours, they would be really excited. Tucker flips Fox News the middle finger and takes his show to Twitter. And Elon Musk, right on. Well, that brings us to Elon Musk, which is so funny. His tweet, and it may or may not be about this. His tweet may not have anything to do with this. But 6 hours ago, just around the time that this particular Tucker Carlson video was about to hatch, Elon tweeted, Trust nothing. Not even nothing. I don't know why I find that so interesting and funny at the same time. It's been reported that him and Tucker have at least had a conversation. You got to remember, Tucker had Elon on his Fox show a month and a half ago. It was a sit-down interview for an hour or so, and they talked about everything and apparently got on very well. Tucker is about to release, or has already released, I think he's about to release this quote-unquote announcement that he's moving his show, ostensibly his show, to Twitter. And about the same time that he's going to make that announcement, Elon comes out and says, trust nothing, period. Not even nothing. So we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. It's all interesting. Yeah, as you know, if you watch this show and watch this podcast, the Woke News Report podcast for a little while, I love the business. I love the studio here. It's finally built out. If you go back and watch some of the prior videos, it looks like a basement scene because we were working on it. And it's a lesson because you have to get started no matter where you start and how you start. I don't care where it is or how you do it. No matter what it is, get started. But now this is a full studio. It's like a full TV studio, and I'm thankful for that. You know, God is good. I always say that as well. But I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you looking at the reactions that we have for Tucker moving over to Twitter. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know that even Elon knows what's going to happen based on that last tweet that he had. CNN are a bunch of jerks. Tucker went from being a firebrand on NBC 2 weeks ago to now a right-wing extremist. And CNN is going to be hosting the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, tomorrow, which is probably the biggest right-wing extremist, right? Hand quotes, if you're only listening to this on podcast. So you never know. You know, it just changes every day and everything. I appreciate you tuning in. Your likes, your shares, your comments. Subscribe, especially on Rumble. As I said earlier in the video, YouTube is not going to be showing this to anybody. YouTube literally will suppress Woke News Report podcast, if only because I talk about issues like LGBTQ, the border being open, which I'll be talking about later this week, climate change, and all of this other stuff that, let's face it, those communists don't like. So, you know, we're never going to get shown. We're never going to hit the algorithm. It's never going to be popular on YouTube. So Rumble is the place to go. It's out everywhere on the socials. If you have the socials, Truth, or anywhere else, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, be sure to follow. It's Woke Board Game primarily where I post this. And I appreciate you tuning in.